1401 St. Louis Avenue. That's where you'll find Crown Candy Kitchen. Through this North St. Louis neighborhood's good times and bad times, this historic candy shop and soda fountain has been on this corner since 1913. People from across the region or right up the street will come to Crown Candy just for a malt or some hand-dipped chocolates. But the sweet indulgences aren't the only reason people visit. This place is vintage. There's a jukebox, soda jerk, small dining room. They're not trying to be an old-time candy store. They are an old-time candy store.
We don't do a lot of change. Change is not a good thing down here. We like to keep things as close to original as possible.
This popular diner, soda fountain, and candy store has been owned and operated by the Karanzev family for 3 generations. Harry Karanzev and his best friend opened this confectionery after they immigrated from Greece. The young entrepreneur lived above the store with his wife and kids, making it easy for his children to learn the family business.
I've been working here 65 years.
I talked with George Karanzev of Crown Candy's second generation in 2001, and he explained how he began working here when he was just 10 years old.
I started selling popcorn out front. My father had me, got a machine, and he said, I'll buy everything and you pay me, then you keep the profit. So on Friday and Saturday, I used to push my machine out there, and then he got a little busy, and then he made me wash dishes.
In the first few decades, Crown Candy barely survived on chocolate sales alone. Their busy time was Easter, when they sold about 400 pounds. George helped expand the business by selling homemade ice cream. And in the early 1960s, after his father Harry became ill, George took over Crown Candy and continued his father's legacy. While working 6 and 7 days a week, George and his wife Bessie multiplied their chocolate production, making it in all shapes and sizes.
Well, my father had some molds when I took over, and he used to do the molding, and we didn't have very many, maybe 150 molds. And then my wife and me used to go out on my day off at these shops, antique shops, and we'd look and see what they got and pick up whatever we can. So now we got about, I'd say, over 500 molds for Christmas and Easter and everyday stuff.
Easter is still their busiest time of year for chocolate, even more so than it used to be. This year, Crown Candy sold around 8,000 pounds of chocolate on Easter. 3,500 of that were in the shape of Easter bunnies. On any given day of the week, Crown Candy has a crowd. And 4 years ago, when I talked to George, I asked him if he was surprised by their success. He was.
No, I never had no idea. I just worked hard and kept building it up. We never had a lunch business like this. At lunch, we used to have maybe 2-3 customers. That was your lunch.
This past Easter Sunday, the busiest chocolate day of the year, George passed away from complications from Parkinson's disease. Today, the family restaurant is run by the third Karanzev generation, George's 3 sons, all of whom recognize the reason behind their success.
My father's dedication and hard work, he made this business what it is today. He's the one who put the 6 days a week, 7 days a week, 14 hours a day in. He made it what it is. And my brothers came along at the right time, when we kind of could jump in when business was really starting to take off, and we're kind of reaping the rewards of, all my father's hard work.
And when asked about their future, the answer, just like their business, is always the same.
It's unique. There's not a lot of places like us left out there. To be perfectly honest, what you're seeing is the future. You're looking at it. We're not going anywhere. We want to be right on this corner for the next maybe 50, 100 years.